table, x1, type 1, 2, enter, 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 enter. And I think I had to go past 20, so I'm just going to do 24. What's the second column?
X1.
X1 squared. Third column, the problem number. So like if we're trying to do the number 63, we're going to take the problem number and divide by x1. So the last column is dividing. Okay? All right, so now forget this for a second. Okay, so here are the steps that we're going to follow. So like the first step, we have to simplify all radicals. Okay, so if I'm trying to do this first example, in order to add the radicals, see my radical? Square root of 20. See that radical? Square root of 5. I cannot combine them. The only way I can combine them is if we have common radicals, you know, like a common denominator. Okay, so really what's happening is I can't work this out until I break down the negative 2 square root of 20. I've got to simplify that. So I'm going to go back to Desmos. And I've got to figure out, all right, I've got that number 20. How do I simplify that radical? What is the biggest perfect square that goes into the number 20? So 20, 10, no decimals, 5, 4. Okay, to make 20, it's 4 times 5. So write it down. So basically, I'm busting up or breaking apart that 20. And I'm trying to find a common denominator, a common radical. All right, so just like we did, this is on the quiz tomorrow, circle the 4 because it's the greatest perfect square. And here's what's different. See that? What's the square root of 4? 2. So see this negative 2? I'm going to multiply it by 2. What's negative 2 times 2? Negative 4. Where did I get that 2? From the square root of 4.
Oh, this is complicated.
Okay. Leftover goes in the fridge. And now what I have is a common radical. I'm just going to bring down the other stuff. And do you see that my radicals are the same? So I have square root of 5 right here.
That was like the fraction.
And yeah, it's just like with a fraction. Just like when we combine like terms, when I have to have the same variable and the same exponent. So these are like terms because they have the same radical, radicand actually. Okay, and now all we're going to do is we're going to work out negative 4 minus 2. What's that? Negative 6. And we're going to do nothing to the radical. We're just bringing it down. Just like when we added and subtracted fractions.
Should we do negative 4 minus 2?
Uh-huh. And that's how you get negative 6.
So you always keep the radicals?
Yes, if the radicals are the same and I'm adding or subtracting, I do that. Okay, so now let's go back and start with an easier problem. Okay, so number 1, do I have common radicals?
Yes.
So let's check it out. I've got square root of 6, square root of 6. They're the same, so just combine them. What's 3 minus 2?
1.
And I keep or do nothing to the radical. I leave it alone.
Oh, is that the one?
That's it. We're done.
Okay.
Okay? So go on to number 2. Do I have common radicals?
Yeah.
I do. I've got the square root of 5 and the square root of 5. Okay. I add the coefficients, keep the radical. Okay, now here's a little side note. If I type this 2 square root of 5 plus 2 square root of 5 into Desmos, I better get 4 square root of 5. So you can also check your answer to that as well. In fact, on the SOL test, what typically happens is that it's a multiple choice question. And when it's multiple choice, it is our lucky day because, look how I'm going to work it out. I'm going to type 2 times the square root, nope, that's wrong, times the square root of 5 plus 2 square root of 5.
You put in the same thing?
Oh, dang it. Hey, anybody know what I did wrong?
You had it on there. Oh, I do.
What?
Put the 2 underneath the other.
I know, but I know it's wrong, but what do I have to do?
That's a.
Arrow.
Arrow. Good job. All right, so 2 square root of 5, arrow to the right.
I thought it was one.
Okay, that's how, oh, wait, plus, and I didn't put the plus sign. 2 square root, actually I did in the wrong place, square root of 5. See that decimal?
Yeah.
All right, now let me check my answer. 4 square root of 5. Did I get the same decimal number?
Yeah.
Yes. So that tells me that I simplified it correctly. Okay? So if this were a multiple choice question, I'd type in each answer choice to make sure that they matched. Okay? All right. Moving on to number 3. So if you look at number 3, I'm like, oh no. Do I have common radicals? No. Okay? So we got to think in our heads. Can I break apart 7? Is there a perfect square hidden in the number 7?
Yeah. Oh, no.
No, because only 7 is just 1 times 7, right? Okay, so no, can't do that. What about 63? Can I break up 63 into perfect squares?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, type it in and see, because it's not 8.
9. Yeah.
Okay, it's the perfect square of 9. Okay, so type in 63 divided by x1, and look right down there, perfect square of 9. Okay, so this is my work.
Wait, why don't you put 7?
Huh?
I mean, like, so you should know that.
Perfect square.
Hold on.
It's not a perfect square.
9 times 7. Is that what you were asking?
No, the 10 and 7.
Oh, I'm just going to bring it down. Why didn't I, why am I just bringing it down and not breaking it
What
apart?
about the 2?
Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Why am I breaking it down? I mean, why am I not breaking it down like I did this one? Because the only thing that divides into 7 is 7.
Oh, okay.
And that's not a perfect square. All right. I'll show you about the 2 in just a second. All right. Everyone got this line written down? Okay. I'm going to circle the perfect square. What's the square root of 9?
3.
So I'm going to multiply the 2 times 3. What do we get?
6.
6.
Okay, so that's how I got that. Okay? Everybody cool with that? Leftover 7 goes in the fridge. Now I'm just going to bring down my first term, 10 times the square root of 7.
Where did you get the 3 from?
Square root of 9.
Okay.
Then you times it.
All right, now, do I have common radicals?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so when we have common radicals, remember when we combine, we add the coefficients, 10 plus 6, what do we get?
15.
And we do nothing to what's underneath the radical. It just stays that way.
And where'd you get the 6 from?
Okay, so that's a good question. Where did I get the 6? I did this. 2 times 3.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so go into number 4. Can I bust up 15? And if you don't know, that's okay. Just type it in and see if you see a perfect square. Also, if I get down here to 15, see where it says 15 and 1, you can't go any further than that, even though I get all these decimal numbers.
So,
Okay, so do you see any perfect squares? No. So I know I just got to leave that for right now. All right. But now we're going to do 60. Backspace 60. Do you see a perfect square?
yeah.
Where? Right here? 60, no. 30, no. Is 20, no. 15, 12, 10, no decimal. 6 is not a perfect square.
4,
Notice how I had to scroll down some?
yeah.
All right, so I have 4 times 15. 4 times 15. All right, let's write it down. 4 times 15.
And 4 is the
4 is a perfect square. Yep. What's the square root of 4?
2.
2. Okay, so I'm going to multiply that 6 times 2. What's that?
Wait, ain't
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that yet. So, yes, that's a negative, but it's really a minus as well. So I'm going to bring all that down. And now we have common radicals. But wait, what's the coefficient on this radical?
0.
A 1. Okay, now combine them. What's 1 minus 12? Wait, 1 minus 12, what'd you say? Negative 11. And then we keep the common radical. So see how I have square root of 15, square root of 15. I keep it and bring it all down. Keep it and bring it on down. All right, any questions so far?
No.
Okay, so what happens? Look at number 5. So now, this time, both of my terms can be simplified. So I've got to simplify both terms, and then I can add or subtract if I need to. All right, so let's simplify 32. So let's go back to our Be Smart chart. Okay, you ready? Find the biggest perfect square.
4. No.
Nope.
16. 16.
Magic numbers are 16 times 2. All right, 16 times 2. Okay, circle it. What's the square root?
4.
So I'm going to do 2 times 4. What's that? 8. Okay, leftover goes in the fridge. Okay, now we got to work out the second part. 18. Anybody know the perfect square in 18?
Yeah.
What is it? It's easy. 9. All right, so 9 times 2. Hey, here's a hint. If I don't get common radicals, I probably missed something. Okay? So, perfect square 9, square root of 9? 3. Okay, so 3 times 3, what's that? 9. Square root of 2. Can I combine? Here. Okay, combine them. what do we get? What's 8 minus 9? Are you sure?
No.
Negative square root of 2. Hey, Grayson said it was -1, and I told him he was right. Is he right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have to put the 1. You're normally not going to see a 1. But if it makes you feel happy to put a 1, go for it. Okay. Find the magic numbers for 28. What two numbers make 28? Come on, what is it? 4. 4 times 7. Alrighty. Square root of 4, what's that? 2. What's -4 times 2? -8. All right, now I don't know 112. Does anybody know 112?
Oh, that's,
It's on this screen.
16.
16. It's kind of like a puzzle. All right, so 16 times 7. Okay, perfect square, 16. What's the square root of it? Square root of 16.
4, my bad.
4. Okay, square root it, we get 4. 4 times 4 is what? 16. Leftover 7 goes in the fridge. Do I have like terms? Yay! Like term, like term. Okay, subtract -8 plus 16. What do we get?
8.
Common radical. 8 square root of 7. Don't forget, you can check your answers by typing the problem in and our final answer, making sure they match. Does anybody have a question? All right, you try number 7. So I'll give you a few seconds, few minutes.
Yeah, how'd you get the 6?
Did you get a 9 and 10 right there? Okay, what is the square root of 9? 3. Now, then you have to multiply these two. 2 times 3. That's where I got that 6. And even I forget. Sometimes I get going too fast and I forget to multiply. That's why it really is a good idea to check your work. All right, now that I've done that, I've got common radicals. Who got the final answer? All right, me, tell me.
I got
-22 times the square root of 10? Is that what you said?
No.
You didn't say that?
How'd you get 22?
-16 minus 6. Type that in.
Oh, yeah. I actually put 2 negatives. Like, I actually put.
Gotcha. That's okay. Okay, last one, number 8. Okay, so I've got the square root of 45. Oh, and then 245.
I don't like this.
Okay, now I know what 45 is. Does anyone know off the top of their head? What, Jonathan? All right, 9 times 5. Okay, so I'm going to square root the 9. Lexi, what's the square root of 9?
3.
And now what do I do after I square root it?
I'll multiply.
Yep, I got to multiply them. So I have 12 square root of 5. Now I have no idea what 245 is. Has anyone gotten it? Yes, right there, my magic numbers, 49 and 5. 49 times 5. Okay, so 49 times 5. What's the square root of 49?
7.
So see right here, what's this number going to be?
21.
Okay, do you see how I got 21?
Yeah.
I multiplied the 3 into 7, and I keep the leftover in the fridge. Now, do I have common?
Yes.
Yep, I'm adding. What's 12 plus 21?
33.
Square root of 5. Does anybody have a question? All right, now, you could do the next page if we have 3 terms. Okay, we're going to do it the same way, but we're not going to actually do that